Hey everyone, happy Monday. This is Nishana with your Monday motivation. Second Corinthians 5 verse 7 says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." Lazarus was living with his sisters Mary and Martha when he became very sick. Realizing that his condition was getting increasingly worse, the two sisters sent a message to Jesus to tell him that his dear friend was sick. When Jesus received the message, he said, "Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. It happened for the glory of God, so that the Son of God would be glorified." So although Jesus loved Mary, Martha, and Lazarus deeply, he stayed where he was. After 2 days passed, Jesus finally indicated to the disciples that he was ready to go back to Judea. Confused, the disciples objected. "Rabbi, it was only a few days ago that the people in Judea were trying to stone you. Are you planning to go back?" "There are 12 hours of daylight every day," Jesus replied. "During the day, people can walk safely. They can see because they have the light of this world. But at night, there is danger of stumbling because they have no light. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but now I will go and wake him up." Still confused, the disciples said, "Lord, if he is sleeping, he will soon get better." Mistakenly, they assumed that Jesus meant that Lazarus was simply sleeping, but Jesus meant that Lazarus had died. "Lazarus is dead," Jesus said plainly, "and for your sakes, I'm glad that I was not with him, so that you will believe. Let us go see him." When Jesus and the disciples arrived, they found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, so many people had come to console Mary and Martha in their grief. When Martha heard that Jesus was on his way, she went to meet him, leaving Mary sitting in the house. When she saw Jesus, she said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that whatever you ask of God, God would give you." "Your brother will rise again," Jesus replied. "Yes," Martha said, "he will rise when everyone else rises, at the last day." Clearly being misunderstood, Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even after dying. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never ever die. Do you believe this, Martha?" "Yes, Lord," she replied. "I have always believed that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into this world from God." Martha then returned to Mary and pulled her away from the mourners. "The teacher is here and wants to see you," she said. Jesus was staying outside of the village, and when the people saw Mary leave the house so hastily, they assumed that she was going to her brother's grave to weep, so they followed her. When she arrived and saw Jesus, she fell at his feet and cried, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw Mary weeping, along with the wailing mourners, his spirit became deeply troubled, and he questioned where they had put Lazarus' body. Jesus began to cry, and the people saw how much he loved Lazarus, but questioned why his love didn't move him to save Lazarus' life. Jesus was still troubled when he arrived at the tomb and insisted that the stone at the entrance of the tomb be rolled away. "Lord," Martha protested, "by this time there will be a stench. He has been dead for 4 days." "Martha, didn't I tell you you would see God's glory if you believe?" Jesus asked. So the stone was rolled away, and Jesus looked up to heaven and said, "Father, thank you for hearing me. You always hear me, but I say it out loud for the sake of those people who are standing here, so that they will believe that you sent me. Lazarus, come out." In that instant, Lazarus appeared from the depths of the tomb, bound in grave clothes with his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus instructed them to let him go, and many people who were there that day believed in Jesus. It's not enough to say that you have faith. You have to truly believe what you're saying. Being a Christian doesn't mean that you'll never go through storms. it means that no matter who you are or how dead your situation may seem, when God shows up, He will make any impossibility a reality in your life. You say that your faith is strong, but what if God's answer is wait? What if His answer is not yet? What if He says no? Are you willing to accept when He says trust me? If the answer is no, then you don't have a religion problem or even a God problem. You have a faith problem. Your faith cannot be conditional because your God is not conditional. God's timing is always perfect. So trust that God will take away the impossible stones in your life because He specializes in impossible situations. God will never go back on His word, and a delay does not always mean denial. So trust that even in the hard times, God is using your situation as an opportunity to reveal His glory. God, our salvation may be instantaneous, but our sanctification takes time. Give us the faith to believe that You will deliver us from any situation and the patience to allow You to unravel the dead stuff from our lives. Thank You for being a man of Your word. Amen. This was Nishana with your Monday Motivation. See you next week. Bye.